You've reached Margo. Sorry I'm not available. Leave a message.
Margo, I'm so sorry. Please just let me explain. I went behind your back. And I shouldn't have, and I'm sorry, but can we just talk in person? You weren't at school today, which is totally fine. But I was hoping we could talk. Please call me back. It's Parker. Leave a message.
This is Margo Holland. I need to talk to you.
Tuesday, September 25th, Episode 3, Deeper Down.
You said you wanted to talk?
Why are you looking into my mother's case with Charlotte?
Why does it matter? Don't you want to know what happened to her?
She died. That's what happened.
You can't be serious. That's it. That's all you care about. Margo, we believe someone murdered your mom, and you don't care? If I found out my mother was killed, I'd want to know who did it and why.
Well, I'm not you.
Obviously.
And my mom wasn't killed. She was attacked by an animal.
Says who?
The police.
The police think she was attacked by an animal, but it hasn't been released as her official cause of death yet. So they're not sure if they're right or not, and I'm pretty sure they aren't.
Well, I don't know what makes you some super detective, but you need to stop. The police are there for a reason, and it's not so their daughters can go around poking their noses where they aren't supposed to be.
You're just upset that I care more about your mother's death than you do.
We're talking about my mother. Of course I care about her.
Why are you asking us to stop? You should be offering to help.
Don't tell me what I should be doing. And do you know what kind of trouble you'll get in if you get caught?
Tell me, what kind of trouble would I get in?
You'll get arrested.
Was that an answer or a question?
Fuck off.
Look, I'm continuing my work on the Holland case. You can yell at me all you want, but it won't change my mind.
And what if I tell the police?
Then I'll drag your friend Charlotte down with me.
Please, just give it up. The police will figure it out. If it's a murder like you say it is, they'll find them and lock them up and it'll all be okay. Just please, stop looking into it. It's none of your business.
I'd love to say you're right, but you're not. I can't just give up on this case. It's personal now. I'd say I'm looking into this case just as much for myself as Charlotte is looking into it for you. So, I can't walk away. Not now. Not until it's solved. Margo?
Hey.
I'm so sorry. No, more than that. Well, you were just so disheveled and you were so sad and you said you didn't want to know what happened. And I thought if I could get you more information, it would make this whole thing easier. So I talked to Parker just because I remember hearing that her dad was the sheriff. And I made her look to see what she could find and she ended up offering to help. Please don't be mad at her. She would never looked at your mom's case if I hadn't asked her to.
Charlotte, stop. I only heard about every other word you just said.
Sorry.
I talked to Parker.
You did?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
I asked her not to look into my mom's case anymore.
And what did she say?
She said no.
That sounds about right.
Do you know why she says my mom's case is personal to her?
I have a little bit of a clue. Parker told me that the event was similar to something else she had heard about, and that it was personal.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. All I know is that she was really reluctant to help at first, but then she took a peek at the file from the rehab center, and all of a sudden, she refused to stop.
Do you have any ideas as to what the connection is?
Not really. So I asked my mom about Miss York. You know, my mom loves her gossip. And she said Miss York ran away about 4 years ago and just disappeared and never came back.
And she thinks my mom was killed.
Which doesn't add up. I know. Every time I ask her, she gets cagey and says it's not my business. Did she say anything to you?
No, just that it was personal and she didn't really care about my mom.
She doesn't hold anything back, does she?
Not at all. How have you been able to work with her this long?
It's not like we're chatting like good friends while we do this. It's more like an exchange of murder theories, and we haven't been really doing it long enough to get on each other's nerves.
I talked to her once and she's already on mine.
In all fairness, that's how she felt about me in the beginning. I was a little pushy.
Only a little.
It's my character flaw. My bad. So are you going to ask?
Ask what?
If I'm going to stop looking into your mother's case?
Charlotte, I just really don't feel like two 16-year-olds are going to find more than a trained police force.
What if I told you we already have?
Charlotte...
No, hear me out. Parker has a really good eye for this stuff. I don't know if it's because of her dad or what, but she just can look at the case and start pointing out all these things that don't add up. I think we're onto something. We just need a little more time. And once we have enough evidence, we're going to the police station so they can finish. We're going to be smart about this. We know our limits.
I still don't feel overly confident in this, and I don't like the idea that you can get in a lot of trouble because of me. Besides, the police are pretty sure it's an animal attack.
But you said it yourself. You have no idea why your mom was out there in the first place. Maybe someone is behind that too.
This isn't some big conspiracy, Char.
How do you know that? Just give us some time. A little more, please. If it seems like we're out of our depth, we'll go talk to her dad. We promise.
You promise?
Do you care what happens to her?
Well, I don't want her to die.
We're not going to die.
You're looking for a killer.
We are looking for evidence.
Potato, potato.
So you're cool if we keep looking?
Please don't die.
Yes. I'll try my best not to.
I'm serious. Then I'll be the one who's alone and bored all day at school.
Are you coming tomorrow?
I don't know. We'll see. If we're being honest, I'm not looking forward to hearing Mrs. Douglas go on about her ecosystems.
Charlotte, you're actually still allowed to call me after all that? Or is Margo letting you say your goodbyes?
She said we could keep working on the case.
Wait, really?
Well, she's not exactly jumping for joy that we're still looking into it, but she's resigned enough to let us continue.
Surrender is still a victory.
Not that it mattered for you, right?
What do you mean?
Margo said you told her no matter what, you would continue following the case.
I did say that, yes, but it is nice not to have to worry about her trying to rat us out every chance she gets.
Margo wouldn't do that.
Sure. Anyway, it would be even better if we could get her help.
That sounds more like a miracle than I think you realize. I was already pulling her leg just to let us continue without her. Trying to get her to join would be pretty impossible, and we don't want to risk losing her approval after we just got it.
It could be part of the reason she is so reluctant to let us look at the case.
What do you mean?
Maybe because she's not helping and doesn't know everything about the case that we know, she doesn't realize how important it is that we should be looking into this. I mean, she doesn't even really believe anything happened to her mother. She still wants to believe it was an animal attack, and she hasn't seen everything we've seen. If she did, she'd know that that wasn't as solid of an option as the police think.
Do you think if she thought that her mom was murdered, she'd be more willing to help?
I mean, I can't be sure, but maybe if she sees our interest in the case more like we're looking for the truth rather than we're trying to disprove the truth, she'll want to know what the truth is too.
I don't know. It seems kind of like a long shot to me. We don't exactly have proof.
Well, that's our next step, isn't it? Get more proof so we can show my dad and have them redirect the case. If we can get enough proof to show Margo that we really are onto something...
You really think it'll sway her?
I'm 70% sure.
That's not amazing odds.
I don't know her that well. I talked to her for the first time today, and in those 5 or so minutes we talked, she'd already cussed me out once. I'm not great with people, but that seems pretty telling.
You do kinda come off strong. No offense or anything.
You don't need to say no offense. I know my weaknesses. I have to finish some studying for my stupid algebra class. Talk to you tomorrow?
You know, we could actually talk in person at school, right? We don't have to keep calling.
Margo comes back to school tomorrow, right? I'm sure my presence wouldn't be the best welcome back present. We'll stick with calling until we can get her on our side.
You really think we can do that?
I haven't the slightest idea. Thank you for listening to The Holland Case, with Cameron Sue as Margo Holland, Michaela Thompson as Charlotte Miller, and Caitlin Branco as Parker York. The intro is composed by Ian Michael Brown, and the transitions and outro music are composed by Hudson Dopp. The series is written and edited by Caitlin Branco, with cover art by Charlie McCuffey and episode titles by Ben Hirota. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.